You ever have that moment where your body says nope, but your brain says we're fine? Yeah, well, welcome to my life. And I've told myself some ridiculous things over the years. I'm just tired. It's probably nothing. My leg isn't shaking. I've just got rhythm. And you know what? For a long time, I actually believed myself. I convinced myself that if I just kept pushing through, if I ignored the signs long enough, that maybe Parkinson's would get the message and back off. Spoiler alert, it didn't. Do you ever do that? Do you ever tell yourself a story that sounds good enough to keep you comfortable, even though deep down you know it's not true? Because that's what I did for years. And I'm not talking about little white lies. I'm talking about the big ones, the kind that cost your peace, cost your progress, and your confidence. Well, today I want to talk to you about the three biggest lies I told myself about Parkinson's, and what they almost cost me, and how I learned to stop believing them. And stay tuned till the end because Carmen's going to share something from the care partner side that completely changed how I look at asking for help. She's got a perspective that'll hit you right in the heart.
Welcome to Living with Parkinson's. The good, the bad, and the reality. Real talk, real life, real community with Bryce Perry. Let's begin.
Hey everyone, I'm Bryce, and I am so glad you're here. You know, every time I sit down to film one of these, I picture all of us sitting around having a coffee, just talking about the real stuff, right? Because that's what this channel's all about. And before we get started, I just want to say a huge thank you to the huge thank you. You know, in the month of September alone, over 1,700 new people joined our community here, and that's incredible. So whether you've been here since day one and you know who you are, or you're brand new, welcome. This is Living with Parkinson's, the good, the bad, and the reality. And here we talk about the truth of it all, the hard parts, the funny moments, and the ways we keep moving forward together. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead, hit that button, because this space is about real people, real stories, and real hope. All right, let's get into it. You know, the first lie that I told myself, the one that nearly became my full time philosophy, was I've got this under control. And I said it like a badge of honor. I said it when my body wasn't listening. I said it when I dropped things, when my voice trembled, when I missed a dose. No worries, I've got this handled. It was like the national anthem of denial. And one day I was walking through the mall carrying a tray of coffee because, of course, I told everyone I've got this. And halfway across the food court, my hand started doing that slow, graceful twist. It's not going to end well when that starts to happen. Four lattes hit the floor in a symphony of splashes. It was like, I don't know, like modern art, foam everywhere. I'm standing there covered in hazelnut drizzle saying, it's fine, I've got it, it's all good, don't worry about it. And meanwhile, my friends are running over with napkins, and one guy's laptop bag now smells like caramel forever. Uh, that was that was my moment, because what I realized later was that it wasn't about coffee. It was about control. And I was terrified of losing it. I thought admitting that I needed help meant Parkinson's was winning. But the truth is, pretending you have control when you don't isn't strength, it's complete stress. And if you want another example, here's one from early on. I was at work one day. I was giving a presentation. I was trying really hard to hide my hand tremor, and I held, I held a pen just to keep it, still. And halfway through, I dropped the pen, and then the notes, and then the little clicker thing that flips the screen. I tried to joke it off, saying, "Well, I guess my enthusiasm's contagious," but inside, I was mortified. And that was the day that I realized my obsession with control was actually making me lose it faster. Because when you fight to appear perfect, you drain all the energy that you need to actually perform. And I know a lot of you can relate. You skip telling your doctor about symptoms because you don't want to sound dramatic. You downplay things with your family because you don't want them to worry. You think, if I just manage this quietly, I'm stronger. But here's the secret: control doesn't come from denial, it comes from awareness. And when I finally got honest, things changed. I started writing down what wasn't working, when my meds kicked in, when they didn't, what foods messed with me, and what kind of day I was. Nothing fancy, just notes. And the first time I showed that to my neurologist, he said, "Bryce, this is gold. I laughed and I said, "It's a grocery list with attitude, man. Just be careful." But but that's when I realized honesty gives you data, and data gives you options. So here's a little challenge for you. If you've been telling yourself, "I've got this," when you really don't, I want you to comment below, and I want you to say, "I'm learning to adapt," because that's where control actually begins. Learning to adapt in the comments. All right, let's move to the second lie. And this one's tricky because it sounds kind of, I don't know. It sounds, I don't know. It's one that sounds kind and selfless, right? But it's really fear in disguise. It's, I don't want to be a burden. Now, this one really broke me. It nearly broke me because I genuinely thought that I was protecting the people I love by keeping things to myself. I thought I was sparing Carmen stress by doing everything alone. But what I was really doing was shutting her out. And one night I'm in the kitchen trying to open a jar of salsa. It's one of those vacuum sealed, stubborn, unbreakable jars sent from the factory of frustration. You know, the ones that pop when you finally get it. Like it's some big relief, like, oh, I got the sound. I opened it. I'm twisting, I'm tapping, I'm running under hot water, I'm banging it with a knife. Nothing. Carmen walks in, she smiles and says, "Do you want help?" And I go, "No, no, 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 I've got it." And you already know how this ends. You already know it. You can see it. You see how this ends, don't you? Right? Lid pops, the jar slips, and salsa explodes everywhere. it's like it's like a Jackson Pollock painting of the cabinets. Carmen just stands there, arms crossed, saying, "Still don't need help?" You know, we laughed about it, or I should say, she laughed about it. But later she said something that stuck with me. And she said, "It's not about the jar, it's about you letting me in." Now, how many of you thought that when I said you know exactly what's going to happen, how many thought that Carmen was going to do it and in this one little twist she was going to open it up? If that was you, put twist of Carmen. Twist of Carmen in the comments. Let's see how many people like fooled at that little thing. But I wish I would have given it to her for the little twist pop. But no, I had to wear some salsa that day. And that's when I realized, though, that refusing help isn't noble. It's isolating. And when you keep saying, "I've got it," what your care partner hears is, "I don't need you." And that's the last thing they want to hear. They want to help. They want to help. And they want to feel like they're a part of your team. There's another time that I tried to assemble a new bookshelf by myself because, apparently I thought Allen keys were my love language. Never. I could have waited for help, but nope. I charged ahead. Halfway through, it looked like I was modern art again. Backward shelves, upside down brackets, leftover screws, and I clearly had somewhere more important. The screws had somewhere way more important to be than around me because I don't think I ever found them. Carmen walks in and said, "I love it. It's abstract." I said, "No, it's independence." She said, "It's crooked." Hmm. I realized my pride was stealing time from us. Instead of spending that afternoon together, I spent it trying to prove something that nobody asked me to prove. Carmen later wrote something that I want to share here. And she said, "It's hard watching someone you love struggle and not know if you're supposed to step in and stay back. I don't want to hover, but I also don't want to watch." The best thing he ever did was start telling me what kind of help he actually needed. Sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's emotional, sometimes it's just space. But when he tells me, I feel like we're more of a team again. She's right. You know that? Your care partner isn't just your support system, they're your teammate. You can't win a doubles match if you never pass the ball. So here's something you can try this week. Instead of saying, "I don't want to be a burden," try saying this. "Here's one thing that would make my day a lot easier." It doesn't have to be huge. It could be, "Can you grab me that water bottle?" Or, "Can you drive today?" It's not a weakness, it's connection. And if you're a care partner watching this, Carmen wanted me to include her message to you. This is Carmen's Care Partner Corner. She said this, and you know this, she says it every time. "You can't pour from an empty cup. You need to take care of yourself so you can help and take care of your person." I'm just saying I'm fine isn't taking care of it, it's ignoring it. And sometimes it's okay to say, no, I'm not fine. That's not failure. That's honesty. And that's how you reach out for help. So again, I'm doing this again, and I'm hoping you'll join me again. Drop still learning in the comments if you're a care partner. And if you're living with Parkinson's, right? Team effort, because we're in this together. Learning as we go. That was for me. Carmen's part ended at the what was it again? What did she say? Still learning, and mine was team effort. So you're a person with Parkinson's, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to make an effort to make it a team effort. I want you to write that in the comments. Okay. Now that brings me to my third lie. But before I get into that, because this is a big one, I want to just remind you or tell you two things. Number one, I have a Parkinson's boot camp. I put it together. It is huge, man. It's getting bigger by the moment. I'm still piecing pieces of it together. I think there's like 27 sessions with me on video. I think there's 4 live with me on video. And it's what it is. It was birthed out of everything that I wanted, I wish I had when I was diagnosed, and my 15 years of journey. 15 years I've had this thing. So I teach you how to track symptoms. I teach you about medication. I teach you about tricks and hacks. I teach you about ways to talk to your doctor, a lot deeper than just a YouTube video. This is really one-on-one. There's worksheets. There's things that you can write down, things that you can keep with you. It's like booklets. It's humongous. This is a massive package. And, it's the first time that I've ever done it. The first time I ever put it out there. So, it's not that expensive. It's really not at all. It's taken me months and months to put this together, but I wanted to do it because I want so badly for someone who's either just been diagnosed, and I mean within the last year and a half or 2 years, right? Or somebody who was like me and is still in denial. But if you're ready to get serious, if you're ready to understand, more things about it, if you want to know how to talk to doctors, you want to know how to track medication, you want to know how to do this and how to do that and how to fight back and push back. Now, how to push back the progression, because I'm telling you, 15 years in, I was told 5 years. I'm 15 in. So I think I'm doing something okay and doing something right. So there's only 9 spots left in this thing, and it starts in 2 weeks. Seats are open now. People are getting into their huddles. You'll be put into a group. It's boot camp, so you'll be a recruit, right? And there's 2 groups that we're going to send out here into the boot camp, and it's the dopamine dozen. And I won't tell you what the other one is because that'll might be yours. So anyway, join now. There's only 9 seats. Once they're sold out, they're sold out. We'll shut it down, and you can go on a waiting list for the next one. But I implore you to really, really, really invest in yourself, invest in you. You want to get fired up. You want to break down this stuff. You want to get the stigma behind you. You want to get the answers to the questions that you really want to know. Well, we're going to do it one-on-one. Okay, one-on-one, all together. Okay, so boot camp. It starts soon, and it's almost full. Links in the description. Okay. Anyway, that was my little plug, but I'm serious about it. I'm so excited about it because I know it's going to radically change people's lives and the way you think. We talk about mindset too. Okay. Oh, and sorry, someone asked me the other day, what about if I'm a care partner and my spouse or who I'm taking care of doesn't want to go? No problem. You come on in. You learn about it. There's care partner companion stuff that goes with it. So it's for care partners. It's for people with Parkinson's. It's for you. Okay, so let's get back to this third lie. Now, the one that's the hardest to admit. This is the one that's so hard to admit. You ready for this? This is just how it is now. I said that one for years. It is what it is. Sometimes out loud, sometimes just in my head. And I didn't even realize how much it was holding me back. When you live with a chronic condition, it's easy to start accepting limitations way too soon. You get used to fatigue, stiffness, bad balance, slow mornings. And before you know it, you stop trying new things. You stop making plans and you start shrinking your world so you don't have to risk failing. I did that for a while. I did. I thought my best days were behind me. I stopped speaking publicly because I didn't want people to see me tremor. I stopped saying yes to things that scared me. And I told myself, it's fine. It's just how it is. It is what it is. But that lie almost made me give up one of the most important parts of my life. A few years ago, I was asked to speak at a Parkinson's event. And my first thought was, no way. People don't need to see me like this. You know, I remember someone looked at me and said, maybe that's exactly why they do. Hmm. So I went. I was nervous, shaking, probably more stiff than confident, but I did it. And afterwards, a woman came up to me in tears and said, "That's the first time that I've seen someone like me standing up there." What? That moment changed everything for me because I realized that what I saw was as weakness was actually a connection. My just how my, my just how it is was someone else. It was someone else. If he can do it, maybe I can do it. It's crazy. And here's another story. A friend of mine, Jim, told me that he stopped going to his local gym because he didn't want people staring when he moved slower. And then one day his granddaughter said, "Grandpa, come to my dance recital." He sat in the back and he realized he'd rather move slowly in public than sit still in private. He went back to that gym the next week. Get it? Jim went to the gym. He told me people stared, but they smiled. And some of them stared and started asking questions. "I think I changed a few of their minds that day," he said. And that's what breaking the lie looks like. It's not heroic, it's honest. And if you catch yourself thinking this is just how it is, or it is what it is, I want you to challenge it. Ask yourself, what's one thing I can still do? Not 10 things. One thing. Maybe it's walking an extra block. Maybe it's dancing in the kitchen. Maybe it's joining a support call. Maybe that one small act of resistance tells your brain we're still in this. There's even science behind it. Do you know that when you push yourself slightly outside your comfort zone, you trigger neuroplasticity? Your brains rewire. Dopamine starts firing, and suddenly your confidence grows. So every time you move, every time you try, every time you're just not surviving, that you're actually teaching your brain to fight back. Now, I want to give you a few tools to stop believing these lies. I want to give you a few tools so that you can stop believing these lies. And when they sneak in, because let's be honest, they always come back. They're always going to be there. Now, the first thing is awareness. Awareness. The moment you catch yourself saying, "It's fine, I've got this, it is what it is," pause and ask, would I say that to someone I love? You wouldn't. You wouldn't. So don't say it to yourself. The second is humor. If you can laugh at it, you can take away its power. Parkinson's already takes enough. Don't give it your joy too. And the third is community. Talk to somebody who gets it, whether it's a friend, a care partner, or somebody in the inner circle community. Speaking the truth out loud turns isolation into connection. And if you're new to this whole thing, don't forget about that boot camp. It's built for you. Okay. It teaches you how to live, not cope with Parkinson's. Did you hear what I just said? The boot camp teaches you how to live, not cope with Parkinson's. Now, here's another little tip that helped me. When I started slipping into one of those lies, I would say it out loud and I'd follow it with, "Isn't that true, Bryce?" Sometimes Carmen overhears me and she yells from the kitchen, "Nope." And that usually fixes it. And speaking of Carmen, she says that humor might not fix everything, but it sure makes them more tolerable. And you know what? She's really right about that. If you tell one more story before, you know, she always says, "If you tell me one more story," but I'm going to tell you one more story before we close. The other day, I was trying to screw the lid back on a peanut butter jar, and Carmen offered to help. And I said, "No, I'm just testing my patience." She said, "Good, because mine's run out." I looked, I'm laughing, what? And that little thing, that humor, it doesn't fix Parkinson's, but it sure as hell makes it easier to live with. And here's what I know. After 15 years of this disease, the most dangerous lies aren't the ones people tell us. They're the ones we tell ourselves, because those are the ones we start to believe. But when you stop lying to yourself, even just a little bit, you start to live again. And here's my challenge for you. Drop in the comments which one of these lies you've caught yourself believing lately. And then write one thing that you're going to do this week to prove it wrong. And while you're down there, hit subscribe, because every time you do, you help this message reach more and more people who need to hear it. and join the inner circle if you want to connect deeper with people who get it. And if you're new here, start that boot camp. Let's get going. It's the best way to get your footing and find your people. And guess what? It's now time for today's Bryce-ism. Here we go. With Parkinson's, the truth doesn't make the journey easier, but it sure makes it lighter. And that's the truth. And until next time, I want you to keep showing up. I want you to keep being honest. And I want you to keep doing life today.